If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Chapter 1. The Cosmic Stage is Set. Creation, Duality, and the Birth of Suffering. Part 1. The Primordial Origins, Creation Myths and the Nature of Reality. In the beginning, there was nothing but darkness. The ancient books tell us that before anything existed, there was only emptiness and silence. From this great void, the first sound came forth. This sound was Om, the sacred word that brought everything into being. The wise teachers tell us many stories about how the world began. In one story, there was a golden egg floating in the dark waters. This egg held all of creation inside it. After a long time, the egg split open. From it came the first being, who became the creator of all things. Another story says that from the waters came a great being who wished to create. This being thought, "I am one, but I want to become many." With this thought, the world began to form. The elements came first: earth, water, fire, air, and space. From these basic parts, everything else was made. The old books also speak of sound as the beginning of all things. The first sound, Om, spread through the emptiness and created vibrations. These vibrations became the foundation for all that exists. Every word, every thought, every action comes from this first sacred sound. In these early times, there was perfect balance. All forces worked together in harmony. Light and darkness, hot and cold, wet and dry, all existed in perfect order. The gods were born from this balance, each one taking care of different parts of creation. But within this perfect order, there was also the seed of change. The very nature of creation contained both the power to build and the power to destroy. This was not a mistake or accident. It was planned from the very beginning. The ancient teachers understood that creation needed both forces to work properly. Without darkness, light would have no meaning. Without cold, heat could not exist. Without destruction, there could be no new creation. From the moment the world began, both order and chaos lived side by side. This set the stage for all that would follow: the endless dance between good and evil, wisdom and ignorance, joy and suffering that marks all existence. Part 2. Maya and Lila, Illusion, Play, and the Veiling of Truth. The ancient teachers spoke of a great mystery that covers all of existence. They called this mystery Maya. Maya means that the world we see with our eyes is not the real truth. What appears to be solid and permanent is actually like a dream or a shadow. Just as a rope in darkness can look like a snake, the true nature of reality is hidden from us by this covering of illusion. The wise ones also taught about Lila, which means divine play. They said that all of creation is like a cosmic drama being performed on a vast stage. The divine creates this entire world as a kind of play or game. In this play, souls take different roles, sometimes as kings, sometimes as beggars, sometimes as saints, sometimes as demons. Each soul forgets its true divine nature and believes completely in the role it is playing. This forgetting is the source of all suffering and confusion. When beings cannot see through Maya, they mistake what is temporary for what is permanent. They think the body is the real self. They believe that wealth, power, and pleasure will bring lasting happiness. They chase after things that cannot truly satisfy them. Because of this spiritual blindness, people make choices based on false understanding. They fight over things that are not real. They fear losing what they never truly owned. They compete for positions in a play, forgetting that all roles are temporary. This ignorance creates jealousy, anger, greed, and hatred. The divine play continues because souls keep taking their roles seriously. They become attached to their characters and forget they are actors. When someone hurts them in the play, they feel real pain. When someone takes their possessions in the play, they feel real loss. They do not remember that everything in the play belongs to the divine director. Evil arises when actors in this cosmic drama become so lost in their roles that they harm others for temporary gains. They commit wrong actions because they believe the illusions are real. They think they can find permanent happiness by taking from others or by causing pain to those who seem to stand in their way. The ancient scriptures teach that suffering continues until souls remember their true nature. Only when the veil of Maya is lifted can beings see that they are not separate from each other or from the divine. Until then, the play goes on, with joy and sorrow, good and evil, all mixed together on the great stage of existence. Part 3. The Emergence of Duality, Good, Evil, and the Web of Opposites. In the beginning, all was one. But creation needed movement, and movement needed difference. From the perfect unity, the great cosmic mind created two sides to everything. Light and darkness came first, then hot and cold, up and down, pleasure and pain. The ancient books tell us that this splitting in two was not a mistake. It was needed. Without darkness, no one would know what light means. Without pain, no one would value joy. The divine made opposites so that souls could learn and grow. From this great division came the gods and the demons. The gods loved order, truth, and helping others. The demons loved chaos, lies, and taking for themselves. Both groups were strong and clever. Neither could destroy the other completely. The gods and demons fought many battles. Sometimes the gods won and brought peace to the worlds. Sometimes the demons won and brought trouble and fear. This fighting never ends. It happens in the heavens, on earth, and inside every person's heart. Every soul must choose between these two paths. We can follow the way of the gods by speaking truth, helping others, and controlling our desires. Or we can follow the way of the demons by lying, hurting others, and wanting everything for ourselves. This choice creates all moral problems in the world. Good and evil exist because we have free will to pick between them. The ancient teachers say that without this choice, souls could never grow wise or strong. The battle between opposites creates the drama of life. Birth and death, love and hate, wisdom and foolishness, all come from this same source. Each person faces these opposites every day and must decide which side to support. This cosmic struggle gives meaning to every action. When someone chooses kindness over cruelty, they help the gods win. When someone chooses selfishness over service, they help the demons win. The war continues through every thought, word, and deed. Part 4. The Wheel of Samsara, Karma, Ignorance, and the Perpetuation of Suffering. The ancient sages speak of a great wheel that never stops turning. This wheel is called Samsara. It spins through time, carrying all living beings from one life to the next, from one world to another. Every soul rides this wheel, bound by invisible chains made of their own actions. These actions are called karma. When you do good things, good comes back to you. When you do bad things, bad comes back to you. This law works like the sun rising each day. It never fails. Your thoughts, words, and deeds today shape what happens to you tomorrow, in this life and in lives to come. But most people do not see this truth. They live in darkness called ignorance. This ignorance makes them think they are just the body, just the mind. They forget they are eternal souls. They chase after things that do not last. They grab for pleasure and run from pain. They hurt others to get what they want. They lie, steal, and harm because they do not understand the real nature of life. This ignorance creates more bad karma. Bad karma brings suffering. Suffering makes people angry and desperate. Angry people do more bad things. The wheel keeps turning. The pattern repeats. Life after life, the same mistakes happen again. When a person dies with bad karma, they are born again in a lower form. They might become an animal or be born into poverty and pain. If they have good karma, they are born into better conditions. But even the best birth on this wheel still brings old age, sickness, and death. The wise ones say that families and whole communities get trapped in these patterns together. Children repeat their parents' mistakes. Nations fight the same wars over and over. The evil that one generation does affects many generations that come after. The good that one generation does also helps those who come later. This is why suffering and evil keep appearing in the world. They are not punishments from angry gods. They are the natural results of wrong actions done in ignorance. People create their own suffering by not knowing who they really are and how life really works. Only when a soul wakes up from ignorance can they escape this wheel. Only when they see the truth about themselves and about the law of karma can they choose differently. Only then can they stop creating new suffering and find lasting peace. Chapter 2. The Onset of Darkness, Myths, Demons, and the Struggle for Order. Part 1. Asuras and Devas, the eternal battle for the cosmos. The ocean stretched endless before the gods and demons. Both sides needed the nectar of life that lay hidden in its depths. The Devas and Asuras looked at each other with hard eyes. They had fought for ages, neither side winning for long. Lord Vishnu spoke to them. You must work together. Use the great mountain as a churning stick. Use the cosmic serpent as a rope. Turn the ocean until the nectar rises. The Asuras grabbed one end of the serpent. The Devas took the other end. They began to pull back and forth. The mountain spun in the ocean waters. The serpent's poison breath burned their faces, but they did not stop. Strange things came from the churning waters. First came a deadly poison that could destroy all worlds. Lord Shiva drank it to save everyone. His throat turned blue, but he kept the poison from spreading. Then came beautiful things. A white horse appeared. A tree that granted wishes rose from the foam. The moon came forth, shining bright. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, stepped from the waves. The Asuras and Devas kept pulling. Their arms ached. Sweat ran down their faces. Still they churned, knowing the nectar would come. At last, a divine being appeared holding a golden pot. The nectar of life filled it to the top. Both sides stopped pulling. They stared at the pot with hungry eyes. The Asuras rushed forward first. They grabbed the pot and began to drink. The Devas cried out in anger. Lord Vishnu took the form of a beautiful woman. She smiled at the Asuras and asked to serve the nectar properly. The Asuras, fooled by her beauty, gave her the pot. She gave the nectar only to the Devas. When the Asuras realized the trick, they roared with rage. The battle began again, fiercer than before. This is how it has always been. The forces of light and darkness fight without end. Sometimes order wins. Sometimes chaos grows strong. The battle moves through all worlds, through all time. In our hearts, the same war continues. We choose each day which side we serve. Part 2. Demonic Kings and Divine Warriors. Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, and the Forces of Adharma. Demonic Kings and Divine Warriors. Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, and the Forces of Adharma. There once lived a great demon king named Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to be the most powerful being in all the worlds. He went to the mountains and stood on one foot for thousands of years. He ate nothing. He drank nothing. He did this hard penance to please Brahma, the creator god. Brahma appeared before him. Ask for what you want, Brahma said. Hiranyakashipu smiled with evil joy. Grant me that no man or animal can kill me. Let me not die during day or night. Let me not die inside or outside any building. Let no weapon harm me. Brahma gave him this boon. Hiranyakashipu became drunk with power. He declared himself the only god. He made all people worship him instead of the true gods. Anyone who refused was killed. Fear covered the earth like darkness, but his own son Prahlada loved Vishnu. The boy would not worship his father. Hiranyakashipu tried many times to kill his son. He threw him from mountains. He put him in fire. He gave him poison. But Vishnu protected the boy each time. Finally, Hiranyakashipu's anger burned like the fire at the end of the world. "Where is your Vishnu now?" he roared at his son. "Is he in this pillar?" The demon king struck a palace pillar with his fist. The pillar split open. Out came Vishnu as Narasimha, half man, half lion. It was not day or night, but twilight. They fought at the doorway, neither inside nor outside. Narasimha placed the demon king on his lap and tore him apart with his claws. No weapon was used. This is how pride destroys even the mighty. Hiranyakashipu thought his cleverness made him safe, but his own cruelty brought his death. In another age lived Ravana, the 10-headed king of Lanka. He too did great penance and received powerful boons from the gods. His strength grew beyond measure. He conquered all directions. Even the gods feared him. But Ravana's heart was filled with desire. He wanted everything beautiful for himself. When he saw Sita, the wife of Rama, he could not control his want. He stole her from the forest and took her to his golden city. This one act of evil brought destruction upon his entire kingdom. Rama came with an army of monkeys and bears. The great war shook the earth. Ravana's brothers died. His sons fell in battle. His magnificent city burned. On the final day, Ravana faced Rama in single combat. The demon king had 10 heads and 20 arms. He shot arrows like rain, but Rama stood firm like a mountain. One arrow pierced Ravana's heart. The great king fell like a tree cut at its roots. These stories teach us one truth. When people let pride and desire rule their hearts, they bring suffering to many. Hiranyakashipu wanted power over all. Ravana wanted what belonged to another. Their selfish wants caused wars and brought death to countless beings. The gods must come down to earth when such evil grows too strong. They take human form to fight these demons and restore order to the world. Part 3. Avatars descend. Vishnu, Shiva, and the response to evil. When evil grows too strong on earth, when demons rule over good people, and when suffering spreads like fire through the world, the great god Vishnu comes down to help. He does not come in his true form, which would be too bright for human eyes to see. Instead, he takes birth as a human being or an animal. This is called an avatar. Vishnu has come many times to save the world. When the earth was drowning in dark waters, he became a great fish and saved all life. When demons stole the sacred books, he became a giant turtle and helped the gods get them back. When a demon king named Hiranyakashipu tortured his own son for praying to Vishnu, the god came as half man and half lion. He tore the demon apart with his claws at twilight on the doorstep of his palace. Two of Vishnu's most famous visits were as Prince Rama and as Lord Krishna. Rama came when the 10-headed demon king Ravana was stealing women and killing innocent people. Rama lived as a perfect prince who always followed the right path. He showed people how to be good sons, good brothers, and good rulers. He fought Ravana and killed him to save his wife Sita and restore peace. Krishna came when the earth cried out from the weight of evil kings and their armies. He was born in a prison cell, but he grew up to be the wisest teacher the world has ever known. Krishna helped good people fight against their evil cousins in the great war of Kurukshetra. Before the battle, he taught Arjuna about duty, about right and wrong, and about how to live without fear. Lord Shiva also comes to help when needed. He is the destroyer who clears away old evil so new good can grow. When demons become too powerful, Shiva dances his terrible dance and burns away all that is wrong. Each time these gods come down, they come for one reason. They come to protect good people who pray to them. They come to punish those who hurt others. They come to teach the right way to live, and they come to restore balance between good and evil in the world. The gods know exactly what kind of help each age needs. Sometimes they come as warriors to fight in battles. Sometimes they come as teachers to share wisdom. Sometimes they come as kings to show how to rule fairly. Each avatar fits perfectly with the problem it comes to solve. Part 4. Moral Dilemmas and Human Agency, the Mahabharata and the Choice Between Dharma and Adharma. Arjuna stood on the battlefield facing his own family. His cousins, his teachers, and his friends stood ready to fight against him. He saw them all across the field, and his heart broke. His hands shook. His bow fell from his grip. "I cannot fight them, Krishna," he said. "These are my own people. How can I kill those I love? What good comes from winning if everyone I care about dies? I will not fight." Krishna spoke to him with gentle but firm words. "You are born a warrior, Arjuna. This is your duty. But you are confused about what is right and wrong. Listen carefully." Krishna continued. "You think you can choose not to act, but you cannot escape action. Even sitting still is an action. The question is not whether to act. The question is how to act. Some people do good things because they want rewards. Some do bad things because they want pleasure. Both are trapped by their wants. But the wise person acts without wanting anything for themselves. They do their duty because it is right, not because of what they might get." Arjuna asked, "But how do I know what is right? My duty as a warrior says fight. My love for my family says do not fight. Both pull at me." Krishna answered, "Right action means following Dharma. Dharma is the path that keeps the world in order. When evil grows strong, good people must act to stop it. Your cousins chose the path of greed and lies. They stole what was not theirs. They tried to harm good people. If you do not stop them, they will hurt many more." "But I am afraid of the results," Arjuna said. "Fear comes from attachment," Krishna replied. "You fear losing people you love. But bodies die while souls live forever. The soul cannot be cut by weapons or burned by fire. It moves from one body to another like a person changes clothes. Do your duty without fear. Act with love, but without attachment to results. This is how you serve Dharma. This is how good defeats evil in the world." Arjuna picked up his bow. He understood now that sometimes fighting is the only way to protect what is good and stop what is evil. Part 5. Cycles of Collapse and Renewal, the Yuga system and predictable decline. Time moves in great circles. The wise ones teach that the world goes through 4 ages, called yugas. These ages repeat forever like seasons. In the first age, Satya Yuga, people lived in perfect goodness. They knew right from wrong without being taught. They lived for thousands of years without sickness. Truth and Dharma ruled everywhere. There was no lying, stealing, or killing. People were happy and peaceful. Then came Treta Yuga, the second age. Virtue began to fade. People still knew Dharma, but some started to forget. Ceremonies became necessary to remember the truth. Life became shorter. Small evils appeared in the world. In Dwapara Yuga, the third age, Dharma weakened more. People lived even shorter lives. Disease and suffering increased. Wars became common. Good and evil were now equal in strength. People had to work hard to know right from wrong. Now we live in Kali Yuga, the age of darkness. This is the worst time. Dharma has almost disappeared. People lie, steal, and hurt others without shame. They worship money instead of truth. Children disobey parents. Students disrespect teachers. Rulers care only about power. The strong abuse the weak. In this dark age, people live short lives filled with fear and anger. They eat bad food and think bad thoughts. They forget God and follow false teachers. Natural disasters happen often. Even good people struggle to stay good. But this darkness is not forever. When Kali Yuga ends, the wheel turns again. A new Satya Yuga will begin. goodness will return to the world. The cycle continues without end. This teaching shows us that evil is not permanent. Even in the darkest times, hope remains. The wheel of time promises that light will always return after darkness. We must keep Dharma alive until that golden age comes again. Chapter 3: Revelations, Realizations, and the Pathways Beyond Evil. Part 1: The Teachings of the Upanishads, Ignorance as the Root of Evil. Evil comes from not knowing who we really are. The wise ones who gave us the sacred teachings called the Upanishads tell us this truth clearly. When we do not see things as they truly are, we create suffering for ourselves and others. This not knowing is called avidya. It is like a thick cloud that covers the sun of truth. We make big mistakes when we think our body is our real self. We believe things that change and break will last forever. We want to keep what cannot be kept. We fear losing what was never truly ours. This wrong understanding makes us greedy. We grab at things. We hate others who have what we want. We hurt people to get more for ourselves. We lie to protect what we think belongs to us. But none of this is real. Our true self never changes. It never dies. It never lacks anything. When we know this truth, we stop fighting and grabbing and hurting. The scriptures say clearly, what is real never stops being. What is not real never truly exists. When we see this truth, evil thoughts cannot live in our mind. A person who knows their real self does not need to take from others. They do not fear death because they know they are life itself. They do not hate because they see the same truth in all beings. This knowing is called Jnana. It is not book learning. It comes when the mind becomes very quiet and clear. Then we see what was always there but hidden by our wrong ideas. When this happens, evil disappears like darkness when the sun rises. We act with love because we know all life is one life. We give freely because we know we lack nothing. The path to this knowledge requires practice. We must question what we think we know. We must sit in silence and look within. We must serve others as ourselves. This is how evil ends. Not by fighting it, but by seeing it was never real. Only our not knowing made it seem real. True knowledge destroys evil at its root. Part 2: Ethics and Duty, Dharma, Free Will, and Human Responsibility. When we know the truth about what is real, we must still live our daily lives with care and honor. The sacred texts teach us about Dharma, our righteous duty in this world. Even when we understand that evil comes from not knowing the truth, we still must choose how to act. Dharma means doing what is right in our place in life. A king must rule with justice. A parent must care for their children. A teacher must share true knowledge. A student must learn with respect. Each person has work to do that serves the whole world. When we do our duty well, we stop evil from growing. We have the power to choose. The gods gave us minds that can think and hearts that can feel. We can choose to do good or to do harm. This choice is always ours. No one else can make us act badly. When we fail in our duty or choose wrongdoing, we create suffering for ourselves and others. Small wrongs become big problems. When one person lies, others learn to lie. When one person is cruel, cruelty spreads like fire. When we do not do our work properly, everything falls apart. The sacred books tell us that even small acts of neglect can destroy whole kingdoms. But good actions also spread and grow. When one person acts with love, others feel this love. When we do our duty without wanting reward, we inspire others to do the same. Right action creates more right action. We must act even when we know the truth about what is real. The wise person does not run away from life. They live fully, but without being attached to the results. They work for the good of all, not for themselves alone. This is how we fight evil with our choices every day. We choose Dharma over selfishness. We choose truth over lies. We choose service over laziness. These choices make the world better and help others find the truth, too. Part 3. Redemption and Transformation. Bhakti, Jnana, and Karma as responses to evil. Our ancient teachings show us 3 great paths to move beyond evil and suffering. These are Bhakti, Jnana, and Karma. Each path offers a way for people to change themselves and overcome the darkness in their hearts. Bhakti is the path of love and devotion to God. When we love God with our whole heart, we slowly forget our selfish wants. This love burns away our bad thoughts and actions. Many who were once cruel or lost found peace through bhakti. They sang God's names, served in temples, and helped others out of love. Their hearts changed from stone to flowers. The story tells us of a hunter who killed animals without mercy. One day he met a wise man who taught him to chant God's name. The hunter's heart softened. He stopped killing and spent his life caring for travelers and feeding the hungry. His love for God made him pure. Jnana is the path of true knowledge. This means seeing what is real and what is not real. When we understand that we are not just this body and mind, we become free from fear and anger. Knowledge removes the darkness of ignorance. We see that all beings are one. How can we hurt others when we know they are the same as us? A proud king once thought he was the greatest person in the world. A wise teacher showed him the truth about life and death. The king saw that his power was like a dream. He gave up his crown and became a student of wisdom. His pride turned into humility. Karma is the path of right action and service. When we work without wanting rewards for ourselves, we become pure. We serve others, help the poor, and do our duties well. This cleanses our hearts of selfishness. Good actions create good results. Bad actions create suffering. A merchant who cheated people for years felt terrible guilt. He decided to give away his wealth to those he had wronged. He worked honestly and helped build schools and hospitals. His life of service healed his past mistakes. These 3 paths often work together. A person may start with devotion, gain knowledge through prayer, and then serve others with love. Or someone may begin with service, develop devotion through helping others, and grow in wisdom. The key truth is that change is always possible. No one is too bad to become good. No heart is too hard to soften. The divine power within us can transform any darkness into light. We must choose our path and walk it with faith. Part 4. Tantra and Shadows. Embracing and Transforming Darkness. In the Tantric teachings, darkness is not the enemy of light. Both exist together in the divine. The goddess Kali shows us this truth. She appears fearsome and dark, but she destroys evil to protect the good. She drinks the blood of demons not from cruelty, but from love. Her darkness serves the light. The sacred texts teach us that rejecting our shadow brings more suffering. When we deny the anger, fear, and pain within us, these feelings grow stronger in hiding. They control us without our knowing. The wise person faces these shadows directly. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. The tantric practitioner learns to work with all energies. When anger arises, they do not push it away. They breathe with it. They watch it. They ask what it teaches. Anger can become the fire that burns away injustice. Fear can become wisdom that protects others. The body itself holds both light and shadow. The lower centers of energy deal with survival, desire, and power. Many teachings tell us to rise above these, but Tantra says we must work through them, not around them. We cannot reach the highest centers by avoiding the lowest ones. Sexual energy, often seen as base or sinful, becomes sacred in tantric practice. This same force that creates life can awaken the divine within. The practitioner honors this power instead of shaming it. Through proper training and respect, what seems dark becomes a path to liberation. The Tantric scriptures speak of the left-hand path. This path works with what others reject. It uses wine, meat, and other forbidden things as tools for spiritual growth. This is not about indulgence or breaking rules for pleasure. It is about transcending fear and limitation. Even death becomes a teacher in these practices. By meditating in cremation grounds, the practitioner faces the ultimate shadow, the end of the body. Through this direct encounter with death, fear loses its power. Life becomes more precious and meaningful. The divine masculine and feminine unite in tantric teaching. Shiva represents pure consciousness. Shakti represents divine power and energy. Neither can exist without the other. This union happens within each person. The seeker learns to balance both aspects, not choosing one over the other. Chapter 4. Resolution and Return. Liberation, Harmony, and the Enduring Mystery. Part 1. Moksha. The ultimate escape from the web of good and evil. When the soul finds moksha, it steps out of the wheel that has been turning since time began. This wheel carries birth, death, pain, and joy. It spins without end. The soul that reaches moksha breaks free from this wheel forever. In moksha, the soul sees that good and evil are like light and shadow. They appear different, but they come from the same source. When you stand in the bright sun, you cannot see your shadow. In the same way, when the soul reaches the highest truth, it cannot see the difference between good and evil anymore. The wise ones tell us that all things we call separate are really one thing. The river and the ocean are both water. The wave and the sea are both water. Good and evil are both parts of the same great truth that is beyond our normal thinking. When someone reaches moksha, they are like a person who wakes up from a dream. In the dream, they felt fear, anger, happiness, and sadness. But when they wake up, they see that none of it was real. The person who was afraid and the person who was brave were both just parts of the dream. The soul in moksha knows that it was never really born and can never really die. It was never really good or bad. It was never really separate from the divine source of all things. This knowing brings perfect peace that cannot be broken by anything that happens in the world. This is why moksha is called the highest goal. It is not just freedom from pain. It is freedom from the idea that there was ever anything to be free from. It is the end of all questions, because the one who was asking the questions is gone. Part 2. The Stories of Sages, Saints, Renunciates, and Overcoming Darkness Within. Sage Valmiki was once a thief and murderer named Ratnakar. He robbed people on forest roads and killed many innocent travelers. His heart was full of darkness and cruelty. One day, he met 7 wise men who were walking through his forest. When he tried to rob them, they asked him a simple question. "Why do you do these terrible things? Who will share the sins you are making with these bad actions?" Ratnakar said his family would share his good and bad deeds because he was doing everything for them. The wise men told him to go home and ask his family this question. When Ratnakar asked his wife and children if they would share his sins, they all said no. They said they only wanted the money and food he brought home. They did not want to share the punishment for his crimes. This truth hit Ratnakar like lightning. He realized he was alone with all his evil actions. He went back to the 7 sages and fell at their feet. They taught him to say the name of God. But his mouth was so used to bad words that he could not say God's name properly. The sages told him to say Mara Mara instead, which means death. When he said this word over and over, it became Rama Rama, which is God's name. He sat in one place, saying this holy name for many years. Ants built a hill around his body, but he did not move. When he finally opened his eyes, all the darkness in his heart was gone. The light of God filled his being completely. He had become Sage Valmiki, one of the greatest saints. Later, he wrote the Ramayana, the holy story of Lord Rama. The darkness that once controlled him was now completely destroyed. Where there was once a killer, there was now a saint who gave the world one of its most sacred books. Part 3. Living with Paradox. The Coexistence of Dharma and Adharma in Human Life. HTML. Lord Krishna spoke to Arjuna on the battlefield and said these words about the nature of this world. My dear friend, you must understand this truth. Good and evil will always exist together in this world. They are like light and shadow. Where there is light, shadow must also be. This is the way of creation. I have made this world with both Dharma and Adharma. They dance together like partners who cannot be separated. Even the greatest saints you have heard about lived in a world where evil existed. Sage Valmiki wrote the Ramayana while wicked demons still roamed the earth. The sage Narada sang my names while cruel kings ruled over innocent people. This does not mean their work was useless. It means that goodness and evil are both part of the same creation. You will see righteous people suffer while wicked people prosper. You will see pure souls face hardship while corrupt souls enjoy comfort. This will confuse your mind. You will ask why I allow this to happen. But this is the mystery of existence itself. A wise person does not try to remove all evil from the world. Such a task is impossible and will only bring frustration. Instead, a wise person focuses on removing evil from their own heart. They do their duty with devotion to me, knowing that both success and failure are in my hands. The farmer plants seeds knowing that weeds will also grow. He does not stop farming because of the weeds. He tends his crops with care and pulls out the weeds as they appear. In the same way, you must tend the garden of your own soul while living in a world where both flowers and thorns exist. Some people become discouraged when they see evil continuing despite their prayers and good actions. They think their efforts are worthless. But I tell you, this is wrong thinking. Every good deed plants a seed of Dharma that will grow in time. Every evil deed plants a seed of suffering that will also grow. This is my law that never fails. The drama between good and evil is eternal. It existed before you were born and will continue after you die. Your job is not to end this drama, but to play your part well. Do good because it is your nature to do good. Fight evil because it is your duty to fight evil. But do not expect to create a perfect world. Only I am perfect. This understanding will give you peace in the midst of chaos. Part 4. Evil as a Catalyst. Growth, Wisdom, and the Divine Plan. Listen carefully to what I teach about evil and suffering. What seems like darkness can become your teacher. What appears to destroy can also create. When great pain comes to you, it breaks open your heart. A broken heart can hold more love than a whole one. The person who has never suffered cannot truly understand the suffering of others. The one who has never faced darkness cannot appreciate the light. See how fire makes gold pure by burning away what is not gold? In the same way, troubles burn away what is weak in you. They leave behind what is strong and real. This is how my creation works. The mother bird pushes her babies from the nest. This seems cruel, but it teaches them to fly. If she keeps them safe forever, they will never know their own power. Pain often pushes you to find strength you did not know you had. When evil comes near you, it forces you to choose. Will you become evil too, or will you become more good? This choice makes you stronger. Without this test, your goodness would be weak like a plant that never faces wind. I have made this world as a school. Easy lessons teach you little. Hard lessons teach you much. The student who faces only simple problems stays simple. The student who faces great challenges becomes wise. Even your mistakes serve my purpose. When you do wrong and see the results, you learn what is right. When you hurt others and feel guilt, you learn compassion. When you fall, you learn to help others who are falling. This does not mean you should seek suffering or cause harm. Do your duty and avoid evil. But when pain comes without your choosing, know that it can wake you up. It can teach you things that comfort never could. The diamond is made beautiful by great pressure deep in the earth. The lotus grows most beautiful in muddy water. You too can become beautiful through your struggles. Trust that even in darkness, my light is working. What seems like my absence is often my deepest teaching. The night makes you value the dawn. Part 5. Epilogue, the ongoing quest. Why does evil exist? So we come to the end of our search. We have looked at the great books. We have heard from wise teachers. We have seen how the gods and demons fight in the old stories. We have learned about karma and dharma. We have studied the paths to freedom from all suffering. What have we found? We have found many answers. Some say evil comes from not knowing the truth. Some say it comes from wanting too much. Some say it comes from past bad actions. Some say evil helps us grow stronger and wiser. Some say good and evil are just ideas that the mind makes up. All these answers have truth in them. Each one helps us see part of the big picture. But the full picture is still too big for our minds to hold. The mystery remains. Why does a child get sick when the child did nothing wrong? Why do good people suffer while bad people seem happy? Why does the mother cry when her son dies in war? Why does hunger exist when there is enough food for all? These questions still make us wonder. The ancient teachers knew this too. They gave us many ways to think about these hard things. But they also told us to stay humble. They told us that some things are too deep for human minds to fully understand. This does not mean we should stop asking. Questions are good. Questions make us search. Questions make us grow. Questions make us care more about others who hurt. Each person must find their own way to live with these hard truths. Some find peace through worship. Some find peace through service to others. Some find peace through letting go of all desires. Some find peace through doing their duty without wanting rewards. The great truth is that we are all connected. When one person suffers, we all suffer. When one person finds joy, we all share that joy. When one person does evil, it hurts the whole world. When one person does good, it helps the whole world. So the quest goes on. Your children will ask these same questions. Their children will ask too. This is how it should be. The questions keep us awake. The questions keep us searching for truth. The questions keep us trying to be better. The mystery of evil will always be with us. But so will the mystery of love. So will the mystery of hope. So will the mystery of the divine light that shines in every heart, even in the darkest times. Keep asking, keep searching, keep growing. This is the eternal way.